In today's video, let's talk about 3 big ways that softball players can really separate themselves from other players when it comes to recruiting. All right, if you're new here, I'm Coach Dan Blewett. I'm a softball throwing expert. I'm a former pro baseball pitcher, and I used to own a baseball and softball academy. We had our own travel teams, and so I've had a lot of experience working with young players and helping them plan to stick out, right? To make a team, to look good in front of scouts, all that stuff. So let's talk about 3 underrated ways today that you can stick out as a softball player in a positive way by training some skills that you might let go otherwise. All right, so number 1, and this probably won't surprise you, but throwing. Throwing skills are so important for separating you from everyone else, whether you're trying to make a team or impress a college scout. Now look, throwing skills are something that have been super overlooked in softball, where you go to your hitting coach and you go to your pitching coach and you do your infield drills, but throwing is just sort of something that's just like expected to be there. And for a long time, pre-game warm-ups were just a bunch of old drills where you're just wrist flipping and you're not really working on game skills and you're not really working on your mechanics like someone like me. I was a baseball pitcher, so throwing a ball was literally how I made my living. So you need to have a mind shift change. If you really want to improve your throwing, you need to say, what drills am I going to do at home throughout the week to work on improving my mechanics, the way my hands come out of my glove, the way my shoulder blades pull back, the angle of my elbow, all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to say, what kind of drills can I do every time I play catch and warm up? Warm-ups should not just be getting blood flowing in your arm. Warm-ups should be the way a baseball pitcher does it. Every time I touched a ball, I was doing some drill that made one aspect or more of my mechanics better or kept them on track. So I was working on my glove side, or I was working on the way my shoulders pulled back, or I was working on my tempo, or whatever it was, or I was just working on, repeating my delivery. So if you're an infielder, are you working on your infield footwork as part of your throwing routine? If you're an outfielder, are you working on catching a ball over your shoulder, turning, glove side, and then making that throw to your partner? As a catcher, are you doing some catcher pop throws every time you play catch to your partner? Are you rolling yourself bunts, running out and picking them up and barehanding them? Infielders, are you working on sidearm throws and the tough throws that you'll have to make if you want to play the next level? This is the mindset shift that you have to make, that warming up is not just warming up, it's making purposeful, smart, in-game practice throws. You're working on stuff that you're going to have to do in the game, whether you're playing in 20 minutes from now and you're just warming up, or if it's practice and you've got a game, next week or 3 days or whatever from now. Every time you touch a ball, there should be something purposeful that your mechanics are getting better, or you're working on in-game types of throws that are challenging. Because if you're going to expect yourself to make that throw in the game, you should be practicing it over and over and over. If you can make strong throws, you can play lots of different positions, and you can really stick out in a positive way when people are watching. Number 2, getting big and strong and physical. And this comes from consistent strength training. Strength training, and this is one of the big things that we did at my baseball and softball academy, I think it had much more benefit for female athletes than it did for the male athletes. Because male athletes already walk around, they've got a little more muscle mass naturally than women do. And they also have a little more confidence and swagger sometimes than I think sometimes female athletes do. And when we saw women getting in the gym and working hard, and they saw that they could lift a lot of weight, that they could be as strong as some of the boys, we saw confidence really soar. And that is huge when you walk out on that field and say, I can do anything. If I could deadlift 185 pounds or squat, 175 or whatever it was. So you're going to see huge gains in your mindset from being in the weight room, and you have to be physical enough to play college softball. You have to be faster, you have to be bigger, you have to be stronger, you have to throw harder. And when you're working in the gym consistently, getting bigger and stronger, coaches are going to notice it. They're going to notice that girl looks more physical. She looks strong. She looks very fit. Those are important indicators for a varsity coach or a college scout to say, I think she could do it at our level. I think she could hack it. I think she could play at this level. Let's talk to her. Let's watch her more. Let's see if she's a good fit for our program. So if you want to separate yourself from everyone else, be consistent in the weight room. Now, if you're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, it's not time yet. But if you're 12, 13, 14, and you feel ready to work hard and take on that challenge of being in the weight room, then it's only going to yield positive results as long as you have a good strength coach, you're doing a quality program, you're learning from the ground up, and you're well supervised. And if you can do that, especially in a group with other athletes where you can push each other and learn from each other, it's just like such a great environment to improve your confidence, your mindset, and also to, again, build that physicality that's so important in sticking out in a crowd. And the third way to really stick out in a positive way in front of recruiting coaches or varsity coaches in softball is to have great routines and stick to them. Show that you're a professional. Show that when you step on the field, you're going to execute on your infielder routine or your catcher's routine and go through your drills, or you're going to go through your throwing routine, your batting routine. Coaches are going to watch how you conduct yourself and what you do in pregame and in practice. They do this at all levels. And there are reports, from like the baseball world of, potential first round draft picks of scouts hiding in the trees. Literally, these are true stories of scouts hiding in the trees to try to get a look at players that they're considering drafting, giving them millions of dollars, hiding in the trees to give that athlete the perception that there's no one watching. And they want to see what do they do when they don't think there's any scouts here. What you want to do as an athlete who's got big goals is to regiment things out. I always do these things, and I am very focused, and I do them well every time in pregame or in practice. And I've got it timed out, so I know that if I want to be my best today catching, I'm going to make sure I get these 6 blocking drills. I'm going to do 5 reps of this one, 5 reps of that one, 5 reps of this one. I'm going to do those, then I'm going to do my stretches, then I'm going to start my throwing. When I do my throwing, I'm going to do a couple bunt throws and a couple pop throws, a couple from my knee, a bunch of different stuff. And I'm going to make sure I do all these things checked off on my list to make sure that when I take the field, I am optimally ready to play, and I've gotten some overall practice that's going to make me better in the long term. That's how everyone does it at the highest levels. It's how I did it as a baseball pitcher in college and in pro ball. My routines were so important to my consistency in my performance and to my long-term gains getting better every single day. So if you want to stick out, conduct yourself like a professional, write down your routines, ask yourself, why do I do the things I do in pregame? Why do I do the things I do when I warm up or when I'm at home about hitting the batting cage with my mom or my dad or whoever? Why do I do the things that I do? And how can I make those routines better and more efficient? That's what great players do, and coaches always notice that stuff. So again, I'm Coach Dan Blewett. Check out my online courses and my other free resources below. If you don't have a great coach in your area who can help you with your training, check out my stuff below. I can help guide you on your journey to being a better athlete. Thanks again. I'll see you here in the next video.